channel, Tree of Life, Astrology, and Tarot. This is my very first video that I have put out, and I'm thrilled that you guys have tuned in to see what this is all about. Probably should introduce myself. My name is Debbie Cassidy. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I've been studying astrology and the tarot, goodness, don't even want to admit it, probably for the last 30 years. I decided to go online with some of my messages. I felt the need to, as I've gotten very close to spirit in the last year or two due to some massive changes in my own life, and felt it would be the right thing to do to try and share my message and get closer to you folks and just let you know what is about to happen. We are on the verge of a major planetary phenomenon, what I would call a serious, big kahuna solar eclipse, which is about to happen on the 1st. So I wanted to hurry up and get this out to you to give you a heads up as to what you can expect. For those of you who are fairly new to astrology, solar eclipses are usually a big event in the sky that affects us here on Earth as far as opening doors, creating lots of change, unexpected events, that sort of thing. The reason I felt it necessary to put this particular video out was this is like one of those solar eclipses that we don't see but once in a lifetime. Now, we had a couple of eclipses last year and some major ones, big fruit fly, over the last couple of years that I know from my personal life has had a major effect on it. And I guess I started taking them really seriously when I realized that about the time an eclipse would happen, a solar eclipse, and then follow up with a lunar eclipse, things were starting to change and happen and bubble up in my own life. And after reading closely and studying up on it, I found that yes, in fact, these do affect us. And I just felt it necessary to get out today and share this message with you. We have had a lot going on, since March of this year. I know I have personally felt it. And I know several of my friends have, relatives, and half of them don't even know what astrology is or even understand it, but they do know some of the chaotic things that have been going on in their own personal lives. Lots of transformation, lots of change. I personally am a Taurus the bull, and those of us who have been earth signs have seen some major things happening to us in the last 4 years. I couldn't have predicted or even written the script for what has happened to me. Everything in my own life has taken a change. I could have never predicted that any of this would have happened, especially over the last 4 years, but the last 2 years have been extremely intense. 20-year relationship changed, long-term job had changed, where I lived had changed, I'm now a grandma, that changed, so you name it, it's changed. But what it's done for me, what I've noticed over the last couple of years, is it's helped me to become closer to God, my higher source, spirit, whatever your higher power is, or what you may call it. I've learned to listen to my intuition a lot more than I used to in the past. I've become a lot more patient for things to manifest and start happening in my life. Now, that was the upside over the last couple of years. The upside to all these changes that has happened to me and several of my friends is, even though we don't know what's going on or we've seen it coming, several of the things that I've wanted to see happen in my life, probably for the last 10 years, have finally happened. And I think that's due to the fact that I finally got closer to who I was, who I speak to, and definitely changed my attitude and became a lot more positive and had a lot more positive outlook on things, and just realized that things don't manifest overnight. It takes time and patience. So with this major event that's coming up September 1st, and I'm recording this right now on the 29th, we are in for it. All I can say is prepare yourselves for plans getting rearranged, new things coming to you that you don't see coming, big major events. You're going to notice it in the world as a whole. You're going to notice it in our politics. You're going to see it in other countries. You're going to see it in your friends, neighbors, relatives right around you, which is why I'm putting out this video as we speak. We have had Mars in retrograde for most of this year. So if you have been struggling to get things up off the ground, get new projects started, you've been missing that little fiery energy that Mars provides. Well, now he has finally gone direct. Hallelujah. Jupiter, another major planet who has had a huge influence on all of us, has currently been in Virgo for almost a year. What we can look forward to after these eclipses are over is Jupiter, our lovely planet of prosperity, is going to be moving into Libra. So any projects you have had currently that you've just had issues getting up off the ground, you now have Jupiter's help getting it off the ground and finally moving forward. Now, with a couple of eclipses thrown in there, Saturn and Sagittarius, you're going to find that it may not turn out exactly as you planned, but it may turn out for the good anyway. All I can relay to you is keep your hats on, buckle up your seatbelts, and let's go for the ride, because it's going to be a strong one, very strong, and I just sit here and wait to see what happens. Now, any major changes, events that happen due to eclipses don't necessarily happen the day of the eclipse. Eclipses usually have a 6-month influence on us. So changes that are happening or new things coming to you or things that you want to manifest aren't going to happen overnight. It takes time. But you're going to find that you want to go this way, and then suddenly you're moving this way. And you may end up getting there anyway. It just might not be exactly how you planned it to be. Then, after this major solar eclipse, 2 weeks down the road, on the 16th of September, we're going to be running into a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are all about closure, letting things go. Those gnarly little burdens, little irritating things that you've been carrying around, all that extra baggage. This is your opportunity to drop it. Drop your baggage by the side of the road and let it go. And the reason for that is so that new things can come in. You got to just clear your slate. You have to do this mentally and stay positive, and you will find that these things will just come to you. Now, astrology and tarot has been something that I have been absolutely fascinated with for as long as I can remember. However, the last 4 to 5 years have been epic as far as what we have seen in the planetary alignments. What I can tell you, a little encouraging piece of news, is now that all these planets are starting to move direct and changing signs, we're going to start to see things get a lot easier. We're going to find a balance. Now that we've got Libra's influence, we're finally getting out of Virgo. No offense, Virgos. I have some very good friends who are Virgos. But once we get into Libra, you're going to find that your work life, your home life, everything in between starts to find a balance. Best advice I can give you is stay positive, think positive, write down the things that you want to manifest over the next 6 months, especially on the day of this eclipse, and watch the magic happen. Now, being this is my first video, and I'm just now getting it out on my own channel, I just want to let you know that I do have a website that's currently under construction that you guys will be able to access here in the next week or two. I've been very, very busy. This is something I really want to manifest myself and see happen. And trust me, there's been delay after delay, but I feel now, finally, that the energy is behind me and we're finally able to move this thing forward. So I will be sending out a notice via my Facebook page, my website, letting you know all the juicy information that's getting ready to come up in our astrological planetary lineups over the next few months. And I hope to do this on a regular basis. And eventually, I'll be putting up a site so that if you need a personal reading or you would like some angel guidance through the tarot cards, which I didn't bring with me today, but I will bring on my next video, to help give you some guidance and maybe a direction on your path. If you feel you're not on your path, maybe I can enlighten you and give you some answers as to which way you should go. Yeah, just a little spiritual guidance for you. This is something I want to give back. It's something I have always shared with my friends, my family. They probably think I'm a little off my rocker sometimes, but it's still a love of mine. It's become a passion. And this is my way of being able to share it with the world. So if you've enjoyed this video and you appreciate the heads up, come back and visit me. And there'll be a lot more to come. I really hope to do another recording on the day of the eclipse. And let's just see what happens. We'll just kind of track it and go from there. I find it fascinating. So meanwhile, I hope all of you coast through this without anything too major happening to you, but trust me, there's some big changes coming. Some big events are about to happen, and I'm in deep anticipation as to how this is going to go. It seems positive to me. It certainly isn't anything to be afraid of. I just always think it's always good to be forewarned ahead of time. At least that way you're prepared, and you'll understand why things are kind of freaking out around you. So don't freak out. It'll be over soon, and then we'll move right on into another one. The month of September is going to be rocky. It's going to be a very rocky month. I'm not going to lie to you. But once we get into October, you're just going to breathe a huge sigh of relief, and you're going to find that things start to glide a little smoother. So in the meantime, I hope all of you take care. Lots of love and light, and namaste.